Why do you think that Walt Hazard didn't have a more productive career in the pros? I mean, he was a sensational college player. Then he goes to the Lakers. He actually started ahead of you when you went to the Lakers.
Yeah, yeah.
What happened?
Well, first of all, the pro game is a little bit different than the college game. I mean, it's obviously another level of in terms of playing against skilled players, but the whole style and the approach, um, it's different. I mean, the rule. Well, now the rules are changed. You know, they didn't have 3-point play then, but um, I think if you are a guard, playing a guard position, you have to be able to put the ball in the basket. You don't have to be a scorer, but I mean, you can be a distributor. Okay. First of all, when we were playing, you didn't have a point guard and a shooting guard. Guards
Right,
played both. Played both.
right.
So you know, but I think you have to be able to put the ball in the basket. And Walt was never a great shooter from the outside. He could penetrate. He had a little floater. And I think that as good as he was, I mean, there was no one better as a passer in college. And I'll say that at that time, I mean, you talk about Magic, you can talk about Di Gregorio, you could talk about anybody that is a great passer in college. Walt was as good as any of them. Okay. And so, but you get to the pros, I think you got to be able to shoot the basketball.
Mm.
And he was never a great shooter. He was not a great defensive player. We pressed full court and, played up tempo and get the ball up and down the court and wide open. And that suited Walt defensively as well as offensively.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that a lot of players, that are really good in college are individually one-on-one. They got to have the ball in their hands. Walt was not a player that you would say went without the basketball. At UCLA, Walt had the ball most of the time as a guard, and rightfully so. And I had to learn to play without the basketball, and that's one thing that Wooden really taught me to do.
Mm.
Walt will get you the ball. We'll get you the ball in a position where you can be a triple threat. You can put the ball on the floor. You can be a passer, or you can penetrate, or you can shoot, and you can put the ball in the basket.
So I just wondered what you thought of your portrayal in the book Foul by David Wolf. Connie was on your ass, and so I've never asked you. I've always wanted to ask you, what did you think about that when you were reading it, when you were going through it?
Well, a lot of books I didn't really read it. I didn't read it. I lived this. I didn't have to read it, but I had.
Well, you should read it. It's a good book.
But I heard about it. But anyway, listen, Connie was an exceptional player, and he came to Phoenix, and I did shoot the ball a lot. I shot the ball a lot in my whole career. But I think with Connie, we halfway through the season, I mean, we were trying to get together to play together, and that was a learning experience for me. I think it was a learning experience for Connie as well, to try to mesh together, to play together as a team, as it was for me to play with Paul Silas, who, by the way, he just passed away, and I always thought that he was a very, very underrated player.
One of my favorite people in the NBA.
Oh yeah, no question about it. But for once, I learned one thing there that I didn't really realize, and that was that you come down under break, and I had been taught, and I'm in the middle on the break. You throw the ball to whoever is the most open, based on the defense. And what happened, I think more than once, obviously, because I think it upset Connie at some point, is that I bypassed him and passed it to the other guy on the left and said he's on the right. And finally, Colangelo said something to me that sticks to me to this day, is that with Connie on the wing, and if Connie's open, they both may be open, but one is more open than the other. And it's easier for me to pass one way or the other based upon the defense. And I always chose the one that was most open and easiest way from this. But that's not necessarily where the ball should have gone. And it should have gone to Connie, say, on the other side, because Connie can do more with the ball than a Dick Snyder. Dick Snyder may be able to shoot the jumper better from outside. In fact, if he'd make a living in the three-point shot today because he can just stand and shoot. But he's not the guy who can then make the next play. But Connie can make the play. And if you get the ball to Connie, he's going to make the play. He's going to score. He's going to pass it, wherever, okay, to the next person.
Hello everyone, I spend a lot of time trying to get you guys nice videos, so please subscribe to this page. Thank you.